All right. This one is a long time coming. Ghostbusters Afterlife. Got the Blu-ray here. Obviously, I'm holding it in my hand. But when this was first announced, I think we got the first trailer before the whole pandemic even got started. And then it happened and just got pushed back. And so I was excited for it, of course, because I'm a Ghostbusters fan. And, I am not one of those that hate the 2016 Ghostbusters. I actually think it's a decent movie. It's gotten a lot of hate that I think is pretty well undeserved, in my opinion. But I will say, after watching this twice now, it is the worst of the four. But I don't hate it. I don't hate any of these. For reference, I did those 3 reviews before I had my current rating system. I would give the original a to the moon. The second one, pretty good. And the 2016 one would be a middle of the road. I don't hate it, but it's a middle of the road. What would I give this one? Well, we'll just have to see. So this one is it's kind of hard to pin down exactly what kind of continuity takes place. We know for sure that the 2016 film doesn't exist in this continuity. I think from what we can surmise, because they say that there haven't been ghosts in 30 years, and if this takes place in 2021, 2020-ish, that could be around the time of 2, which was in 89. So, yeah, it could, the first 2 pretty much exist. And then this is there, and it's about a family who move to a small town after the grandfather dies. And they try to shroud it in mystery as to who their grandfather is, but, you know who it is. I mean, you can sort of see at the beginning here, when you see this old man. Oh, who could it be? He's got big poofy hair, but there's a beam in his face. You can't see who it is. But it's Egon. It's Egon. And let me just say, the effects in this, Jason Reitman, which I will never forget. Okay, I'm never going to let this go. That the guy who on camera said his father said the Ghostbusters were full of crap is directing a Ghostbusters movie. I'm not letting that go. But yeah, he directed this movie. His father produced, and I think Dan Aykroyd is also an executive producer on this. But yeah, this script was done with care. They dedicated. I couldn't think of the word. They dedicated this to Harold Ramis at the end. This was done. I know that some people have, because you can't hide any spoilers. There was surprisingly a lot of spoilerish stuff hidden from me. I mean, this is coming in an age where internet is everywhere. There was a lot of stuff I didn't, know before getting into this. And I can't say that about movies that have come out within the last few years because, internet the way it is, everybody don't like to shut the fuck up. You're talking about a society that ruined that James Bond died in his last movie, in the most recent movie, and that pissed me off. But I literally did not know anything other than the old Ghostbusters were in here, which they said they were going to, so it's not really a spoiler. But yeah, and I will say, if you are looking for a movie that features the Ghostbusters prominently, this is not the movie for you. They're literally within the last 10 minutes of the movie, but it's worth it. To get to that, the rest of the film is pretty good. If you want to say, oh, I'm here to see the Ghostbusters only, and you're going to sit there and you're going to watch this, you're going to be disappointed. But if you just want to watch a Ghostbusters movie, and as much as they had cameos in the 2016 movie, and yeah, I don't hate those cameos. Obviously, they knocked Bill Murray out a window. I don't know if it's technically a response to not. I don't know, but it's they killed off Bill Murray in that one. But like, I don't know. Didn't hate that, but this enough for me to get started. So yeah, you have the Spanglers. Are they going? Well, I guess they would be going by the father's name, wouldn't they? Their last names would be technically, but they never mention who the father is, what their last name is, or who knows. But they're in debt. They don't have any monies. You have the. This is a Sony movie, so I imagine that they should have the. Their landlord should be Mr. Dictovich from the Spider-Man movies, right? You come in, you give me rent, but no, it's some other guy with an accent that. Ow. That I hurt my hand on the table, stupid table. That evicts them very quickly, and then because we see the whole thing at the beginning with Egon, and we see Egon die in the chair, much like when when Dana, that's a different movie. When Dana gets attacked in the original, and yeah, and he dies, and so they inherit this house. It's an old farmhouse, and you have Finn Wolfhard from Stranger Things and the It movies. And you have what the hell's her name? McKenna Grace from Annabelle movie, and she's been in other things. But yeah, they do a pretty good job. And you got Paul Rudd, who's always good, as always. And I do have to mention that there is a scene in which he stands in front of the ice cream aisle, and it's a Baskin Robbins ice cream aisle. Which is funny because he worked at Baskin Robbins and Ant-Man. So yes, yeah. So they go to this small town, right? And it's a slow build at first. Like it slowly reintroduces you. If you know into this, like she finds the PKE meter, and then there's a ghost helping her. It's her grandfather, of course. You know, Egon's her grandfather, of course. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to think. Yeah, it just kind of builds you into it and gets you, and then you have Trevor, that's Finn Wolfhard's character. He's working on the Ecto-1. You see him, they do this thing where it's nighttime and he's got his phone, and you see just a glimpse of the logo before the light turns off. So it's, ooh, what is that? Yeah, you know what it is. You know it's Ecto-1. I mean, come on. What car would be in the garage other than the Ecto-1? And it's like been modified a little bit. You got like a seat that puts you out, and you can bust ghosts on the side, which is cool. So there's not really a Ghostbuster team in this per se. Like, you have the kids, and they're basically Ghostbusters when shit goes down. But like there's this girl that could be the love interest for Finn Wolfhard's character, even though she, I guess, has a boyfriend, even though I'm not sure which one he was. But like, Trevor starts working at this fast food restaurant called Spinners, which when the shit goes down, the P stops working, so it's Sinners. We get it. But yeah, Phoebe starts to realize that their grandfather was out there for a reason. And you got Gary, that's Paul Rudd's character. Gary, I don't know, just Gary. And he's a seismologist or whatever it's called. And he's out there trying to figure out why there are earthquakes in a place with no fault lines. And that's the big thing. They do that in the trailer. By the way, he's a summer school teacher. He's a teacher there, summer school teacher, whatever. And he's allowing his kids to watch horror movies during the summer. Like, this is summer school, and you just have them sitting there watching horror movies. The two that they show are Cujo and Child's Play. Now, the worst movie I ever watched in school was Schindler's List. That's because we were still in the Holocaust. So, Yeah, Schindler's List. And Lord of the Flies. But, why do people insist on talking in the hallway? It's annoying. Anyway, even when I'm not recording, it's annoying because I'm sitting here trying to watch TV and I hear... It echoes in the hallway. Shut up. Anyway, so, yeah, and the mine is Shandor Mining Company, which, wink, wink, you know, there are Easter eggs. Shandor Mining Company, that's not really an Easter egg. There's a Twinkie in the glove box, wink, wink. You find the suits and stuff. You get the chase in the Act 01 with this new creature called Muncher. And I think it's like, so they call it Muncher in the movie, and it seems like a whole, we'll call it Muncher in the movie so we could sell the toys. Because in the original, in the first two, Slimer was never called on screen by its name. Called by its name on screen. Can I speak English? I don't think so. It was never called by its name on screen. In fact, they called it something else in the original production. I don't remember what it was, like potato or something. I don't know. But, and there has been, speculation like, the original one was Slimer was based on John Belushi, so was Muncher based on Harold Ramis? Maybe. Who knows? It's blue and it eats stuff. Like that Muncher. And it unlike Slimer, it fights back. It spits like metal at them. And there's a cool chase scene where they just destroy the hell out of stuff in this small town. And they capture it, but then they get arrested by Sheriff Bokeem Woodbine. Yeah, he's in the Sony movie again. He was in Spider-Man. Now he's here. And then they get in trouble. And, okay, I do think that, sometimes when you don't know where to go, you got to go back to the well, right? But I think they went too much back into the well because we get, like, verbatim the climax of the original. The dogs break out, dude gets taken, woman gets taken, and they have to vlump, and then Gozer comes out, Although they do kind of a switch where this time it's the guy, Vince Clortho, laying on the rock when the girl's walking up to him, where in the original it was, Tully walking up to Dana. I don't know why I gotta say it like Arnold. If you want to know where I'm getting the Dana from, it's was it True Lies? I think that was the daughter's name, Dana. But yeah, and excuse me, my throat's getting dry. I need a drink. I usually grab it before the review, but I forgot. Yeah. There we go. So, yeah, so the climax, and he pointed this out. Big LT Radio pointed this out. It's the same. It's the same structure inside the mine that was on top of Dana's apartment building. It's the same structure, and he's laying there. And the actress's name, I looked it up before when I was watching it with my son. Olivia. She's an Alpha Dog. Turns to hope to see Alpha Dog sitting right there. It used to be, but I moved things around. Oh, she did
hear me. I say hi.
Yes, he say hi. Okay, everything went hi. Everything hi. She was dating Jason Sudeikis for a while. I forgot her name. Oh, The Lazarus Effect. She was in The Lazarus Effect. Hold on, I know where that is. Just did that one. Olivia Wilde is one who plays Gozer here. The makeup is pretty good. And they do this. It's a little different how they try to defeat her. And she gotten smarter after 30 years. So, yeah, they realize that the farm isn't a farm. It's a trap. And so they're going to use the trap, because they kind of showed at the beginning where he's trying to turn it on. They hint at it. But then Phoebe comes up with it and figures it out. I do like that Egon has a pole that leads down to his secret.
Don't worry about it. When me and the Groby do some recording on my channel, we get the same
It's rude.
problem.
It's rude to talk in a hallway, even when you're not recording, because it echoes.
So if it's an animal, it can't help it.
I know you can't see that cupboard door, but it always bugs me that it's open when I'm recording. I don't know why. But, so yeah, Gary and the mom get taken as Vince Clothar and Zool, motherfucker, Zool! And they become dogs, right? And then the whole Gozer thing. But it's really interesting what they do with this. They have, okay, so our main Ghostbusters here are Trevor, Podcast, which is the only name we know this kid by. I call him Discount Freddy from iCarly. Phoebe and girlfriend whose name I do not know. I forgot her name. It's a weird name. Funny Fury, Funny Funi Fumi, whatever her name is. It's a weird name.
Don't ask me.
Not two. Anyway, Sunny? I don't know. She has a weird name. But
Look it up.
he's gonna look it up. But anyway, they're the four main Ghostbusters, even though, like I said, there's not really a Ghostbusters team because so she's doing Funny Name is doing something else while the other three sneak into the mine with the Ecto-1. How they snuck into there, that I don't know. But they sneak into there. By the way, I do like that they captured Muncher, and Podcast is smart enough to know that if he releases Muncher, because they have it in another jail thing that is with a lock that's unpickable. By the way, I want to point out, they get to this house, which was apparently given to them by their grandfather, and they have to pick the lock to open it because they weren't given a key. Then Janine shows up after that for her cameo. It's like, shouldn't she would have been easier if she was there and gave them the key. I don't know. And it's never specifically said whether she's the grandmother or not, but I think if she was, the mom would have said something, so I don't think she's the grandmother. So all you conspiracy theorists out there, just shut up.
What was the name of the actor or actress you were looking for?
I don't know. Just a weird name, just kind of like Sunny or Suri or Funny or Fumi.
Was it the black girl?
Yeah, the black girl.
That also becomes the Ghostbuster?
Yeah.
According to this, I think it's Lucky.
Lucky. Yeah, Lucky. Yeah, I said it was a weird name like that. Her name is Lucky.
Also, her name is Celeste O'Connor, I guess.
Celeste O'Connor. But, her. They're on that cover there. Her, Lucky. Well, it's her hair and everything like that. But yeah, so they used the trap to capture Zool and free the mom, which is weird. You think it would hurt? You know, because like Phoebe threatens the sheriff with the
Proton pack.
The proton pack thing. I want to say blaster so bad, but the proton pack. She points it at him.
You're a Ghostbuster fan for how long? You can remember that?
My brain don't work so good sometimes.
Neither do mine, but that is no excuse.
But yet the trap doesn't hurt the mom. I don't know, but she was trapped inside of a dog anyway. But yeah, she's freed and they get out of there. They don't even think about who could be trapped in the other dog. By the way, that's a human being in there. They know there's a human being in that one. There's got to be a human being in that one. No one cares about Gary. Sorry. Oh yeah, by the way, I gotta point out, I called 2 jump scares in this, and my son couldn't believe it, because there's the first one where they're trying to open the trap, and Gary steps on it, and nothing happens, but then he goes to get up close to it, and I go, it's gonna be a jump scare, and it happens, and he's like, that's a typical jump scare, and then later, when the kids are up on the mountain, and they're looking in, I'm like, another jump scare, and it happens, and my son's like, how you do that? I'm like, I've watched too many horror movies. I know when those kind of jump scares happen. Yeah, so they save the mom, and they go back to the farm. Lucky shows up, and they try to use the trap, but it doesn't work. And you have sort of a half gozer as she comes out, and they try to use the trap. It doesn't work, and she breaks the trap. And so Zool takes over Lucky. No, I'm going to keep on saying it. Takes over Lucky. And just when you think all hope is lost, you hear, "Hey, Flat Top." And the other 3 Ghostbusters are there. You have Venkman going, "Did you miss us?" And they cross the streams, but she uncrosses the streams because, like I said, she's smart. Yeah, I also gotta mention the mini Marshmallow Men, which was, there was a they put
Walmart?
that scene on, huh?
You think I'm going to say Walmart?
No, yeah, they're at Walmart, but no, there was a promo scene. There was a scene they put on YouTube and stuff that showed, they're like burning each other, melting each other. One gets s'mored, but yeah. So cross the streams, but she takes them apart. Oh, what do we do now? Well, the mini Marshmallow Men are like attacking the proton pack the proton thing that Trevor has that's attached to the Ecto-1. Well, Podcast just starts killing all the freaking things, but he's covered in marshmallow, like Winston. Even when he comes out, I quoted Winston going, "I love this town!" But he doesn't say it, but I did, because it reminded me of Winston in the original. So they do use the proton packs, the 3 of them. They get knocked down on their butts. But they do call back. I knew they were going to do it. But even before they did it, I'm like, they're going to have to call back to that. And so, yes, you have the, "Are you a god?" And Ray's like, And Winston's like, "Ray? No. I mean, yes. Yes, we're all gods. We're all magnificent peoples. We're all powerful down here." And no was the original one. This was yes. They say yes now. I done fucked it up. But they say yes. And that's when they do the cross the streams thing, but it doesn't work. And then and to be fair, they did the cross the streams to the State Puff, not to Goes It directly in the original. So there was no guarantee it was going to work to begin with, but it's worth a try, right? But they activate this machine, and they, Trevor shoots the things to activate it and make it work. She pushes the thing, but Phoebe's having problems, and then you see a ghost hand wrap around and help, and you get this, honestly, fantastically done CGI Harold Ramis with a little weight loss, because he was a heavy kind of man towards the end of his life, but it looks like he could have been standing there. I mean, it's obviously CGI, but it was well done to the point, like, the look on Winston's face, you could almost swear he was actually looking at him. He's like, but yeah, and because you gotta have that apology and everything, and I do want to say that there is this moment that really feels like it's only there for exposition as to what happened to the Ghostbusters. Phoebe uses her one phone call when she gets thrown in jail to call Ray's occult shop, which is the number for the Ghostbusters connects directly to Ray's occult shop. Okay.
I think it's because it was the same phone they used when they were Ghostbusters.
I guess. And so we just have this exposition dump. He's telling a 12-year-old girl he doesn't know and doesn't even know her name all about what happened to the Ghostbusters since the last time we've seen them, I guess. And it's like, okay, I get you want to catch up your audience, but like, why would he tell a random 12-year-old calling from jail? And like, she's able to get out like, oh, he was my grandfather before it's cut off. And she's like, hey, hello, hello. And that's sort of to let the Ghostbusters know there's is something going on. But yeah, they defeat. I do want to mention there is Ivo Shandor, but he's really non-consequential. They show him laying there. I think he's dead. He's not dead. And then he comes back, and then he's killed by Gozer, so he is dead. So, nice little cameo. He did more in the video game. And as a nostalgia critic fan, there were so many times that I yelled out, Zool, motherfucker, Zool. Yeah, and you get this ghost, and it says, For Harold up on the thing, and then you get the Ghostbusters theme song. And I do want to point out that this is the first Ghostbusters movie that does not start with a scare thing followed by the theme song. Because you get the ghost thing, and Egon dies, but it doesn't mean they do the dun 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 dun. That's at the end of the movie this time, which is really weird. It's different because I was watching this with my son, and then after a while, I'm like, wait a minute, they didn't do the opening thing like they usually do. He's like, no, they didn't. I'm like, and they did it at the end, which is different. We get 2 post-credit scenes. We get a mid-credit scene in which Dana and Peter are doing that card thing, and it's revealed that Peter has marked them, and she shocks him a couple times. And then at the end, post-credit scene is Winston talking to Janine about, like, talking about, oh, Peter was this, Ray was that, and Egon was the brains, and he's like, she said, what were you? And I'm like, I was the driver. Technically, that's what he was. He's like, I was the sex appeal. I'm like, okay. I guess he's the one that's made all the money, and he pays for Ray's occult bookshop to stay open, I guess. So Ray's going to turn a profit. I'm like, okay. But yeah, and I do want to point out that there are some things they say 30 years ago, so that would put it around the time of the second one. There might have been some stuff after it that happened. Depending on when the video game took place, they could be referencing that too.
I think it was 2 years after the...
So if that was 1991, then that would be 30 years. So maybe the video game did take place, but if that was the case, Ivo Shandor was the main villain of the video game.
Yeah, because he was the ghost.
But then he's somehow alive here. So I don't know if that's canon or not.
Well, considering that the Ghostbusters in the video game has the painting of Ego.
Yeah.
And we do know in the Ghostbusters 2, it turned into the Ghostbusters holding the baby.
That reminds me, there was something that I would have liked to see, like the end credit scene ends with Winston going back to the firehouse with Ecto 1, and then it's showing a red light on the containment unit. So sequel, anyone? But I thought it would be, since we went back to the first one for this one, like a post credit scene would be like a field trip to a museum. And they walk in and look at a painting, and they're like, what's that? And you just hear, well, that's Vigo. It's just an idea I had.
I believe it.
That's Vigo.
And you can have the original actor come back.
Yeah, Peter McNichol come back. That would be cool.
And he gets possessed again for ha-has.
Or maybe he was never unpossessed and it was the trick the whole time. Who knows? But how would they have... Who knows? There could be another painting, I guess. There are duplicate paintings of some, I guess. Who knows if there was, like... If they painted another Vigo. Like, I don't know. But, yeah, this... I have to say, when it comes to Ghostbusters Afterlife... Pretty good. It's not as good as the original... But it's close. It's very close, but I enjoyed it very much.
Just out of curiosity, if they do a sequel around Vigo again, do you think they're going to do the slime thing again?
I don't know. I think if they do a sequel, they might go in a different direction. They're obviously going to go by, if they do a sequel, that flashing light. Maybe. Who knows what's in there? Maybe Slimer's in there. Maybe they put Slimer in there before they close down. Who knows? But, yeah, so what are your thoughts on Ghostbusters Afterlife? Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.